Instagram friends. I'm also on YouTube. Hello to my YouTube family. It's been a minute. So today we get the Pisces Blood Moon Eclipse. Okay. This is going to be my September energy forecast, but I am going to spend a lot of time talking about the eclipse and just the eclipse portal that we're actually going to be in all month, or pretty much all month. Because it's bringing some important themes to the forefront, right? First of all, I want to start with the Pisces full moon, right? Pisces is okay. A couple of things I'm noticing with Pisces, how this energy is showing up. Pisces is all about deep emotions, right? Water is the element that governs Pisces. So there's this deep emotional energy. Now you also get the dreamer. So I'm seeing two things: emotional purging, which I was so surprised the last few days. Like, I've been telling my husband, like, do not talk to me, do not look at me, do not breathe near me. Like, I am just a ball of fire and fury. And it's just because this is actually a great thing. I feel actually the spirit of the moon coming in, right? The moon is all about completing cycles. To complete a cycle, you need to process suppressed emotions. And this is not even like you've been trying to spiritually bypass everything in your life. It's just the reality of being human is that life goes on, right? Something happens. You have an emotional reaction, you have an emotional response. It's absorbed, it stays in your sacral chakra. You don't fully process it. So the this sort of amplified moon, which is the eclipse, it's like nature's or the cosmos gift to you to say you get to cleanse everything you've been holding on to subconsciously. And every time you cleanse and purge, and this is why we get this major collective timeline shift every time we get the blood moon, and really any eclipse, because when you clear vibrational baggage, you create space to manifest other things, to experience other emotions, right? It's like your vibration just skyrockets. Okay. So let me know in the comments, YouTube people, and also my Instagram people, like, what type of emotions have you been experiencing? What's coming up for you? I'm feeling my throat chakra beginning to buzz. So I feel like this is a significant period for speaking your truth. And that was like also a part of my emotional release. Oftentimes we just keep moving forward, we keep going because we can see the full picture, but there's this very important part that has to do with self-acknowledgement. Fatigue and irritation. Yes, I've been fatigued the last few days, so I hope you guys are happy I'm here, because I really pulled up my little energy. I have a few things I need to do today, and I was like, I haven't seen them in a while, I really want to do this. But yeah, fatigue. And that's because sleep is healing and cleansing, which is also why we get tired around full moons. Finding beauty in solitude. I love that. Someone says heavy, 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 releasing a lot. Something else important right now. This is not a time to try to hold it all together, which was another thing I witnessed within myself. This is not a time to hold it together. This is a time where you allow the rage to come to the forefront. You speak your truth. You allow any anger, any frustration, any grief, anything. Allow it to come up. You've already been suppressing it. Stop trying to hold it together. I feel like some of you just need that permission slip. It's okay to engage a little bit of sacred rage. If you can, going in nature and doing a sacred rage, like a scream. If you can't do that, you can scream in a pillow. I feel some galactic energy coming in right now, Arcturian beings and Pleiadians, and they're talking about the human journey is hard. Let's just call it what it is. It is immensely difficult. There are so many things pulling on your energy and tugging you in so many different directions all the time, because that's just the nature of this dimension. It's meant to be set up this way. And when you don't have periods of time where you acknowledge that and you tend to your truth, this is where I would say detrimental themes like resentment or like true uh, anger towards the world or other people becomes a part of your permanent vibration, meaning the dominant frequency that you emit. So this is a gift. Don't be afraid to feel. Don't be afraid to be honest. Now, Pisces are also known for being delusional. And I'm seeing a double polarity with this. I'm seeing two dominant themes with this around this delusion. The positive polarity of being delusional is that it's dreaming beyond limitation. Some of you are being asked to look at where you're not dreaming enough. You're being too realistic. Okay. Now, some of you are a little bit too delusional. Okay. The negative polarity of that, which is you're ungrounded. I was having a conversation with a client the other day. I'm not going to like go too deep into their thing. But she goes, "Did I shift into an alternate timeline and this is why this thing showed up?" No. Meaning like something was very obvious to me. It was a real thing that happened. An actual thing that happened. And the negative polarity of being delusional is that you can convince yourself of things or prevent yourself from seeing a truth because you don't want to believe it. You don't want to look at it. You want to create a story around it. I want you to also look at where you're doing that, which what Source has been showing me is that the spiritual collective has been quite out of tune with healthy, balanced masculine and feminine energy, right? The desire to be in our feminine or to heal any unhealthy masculine has sort of, for many people, they've put the masculine energy fully to the side. And so we get this sort of ungroundedness, this inability to look at what is right in front of you. Literally look at what's right in front of you. Okay. It's like saying, did I shift to an alternate timeline where this very visceral physical thing, like let's say you're at a stoplight, or let's say you're at a stop sign and there's a stop sign and you need to stop because that actually protects you and other people who are driving, but you go, "Oh no, temporarily it wasn't there, so I could," like you're creating something. That's the negative polarity of Pisces, being delusional to a default, as opposed to being delusional through the lens of dreaming. Let me know what this is bringing up for you in the comments. Where are you being delusional? I want to give you some themes. Relationships. That stop sign I just talked about, it's also like the red flag. Okay? Relationships, friendships, things that are going on at work, decisions you need to make in your life. Are you being too rigid, too comfortable, not willing to dream bigger? Or are you being delusional and doing some things that don't actually serve you? Now, what I find quite interesting about September is that we also get a Virgo eclipse. I want to say, yeah, it's also an eclipse, so another full moon, but or no, we get the Virgo partial eclipse towards the end of this month. And so now we're going to be in a bit of an eclipse portal. So very intense next 3 weeks, next couple of weeks going on here. And that Virgo energy we're going to meet is all about perfection, structure. Where do you need more structure? Where are you being too structured? So I love how these energies are sort of like playing together. Now, for those of you who don't know, I just got back because someone was saying we need to see you every week. I just got back for quite an extensive Gridwork slash my birthday trip. I went to France, I went to Spain, I went to Morocco, and I didn't share this on YouTube, but I ended up visiting the cave that Mary Magdalene spent um, a portion of her life. And so there were a lot of Christ consciousness codes and divine feminine codes that I also want to talk about today, because Uranus goes retrograde, and that planet has a lot to do with spiritual awakening. So I feel like these two are like interconnected. Spiritual awakening, going retrograde until February. This is where we get sudden shifts in our life, sudden activations, sudden realizations. Ooh, and somebody says Virgo, the Virgin Mary. I love how you connected that within the Magdalene lineage. Okay. So what has started activating for me? A couple of things after the Mary Magdalene cave site. So in my clairvoyance vision, I was able to see her, like how she had spent her time in that cave. And stones hold Akashic record in memory. I saw her levitating. I saw her in council with galactic beings. And so this was after Jesus was crucified, and she took their children and escaped to the south of France. So I visited the south of France because this year was really big for me in remembering. I was a very, very close family member to Jesus and Mary Magdalene in that timeline. And so I kind of wove it into a birthday trip because that was just like a very significant life connected to this one and everything I'm doing right now to kind of carry on some things that we set forth. So nonetheless, the stones just start revealing so much. So much. And what is relevant right now is that you awaken to the Christ within. That was one of her biggest things. Awaken to the Christ within. Let me know in the comments if you've been noticing a lot of, and I mean people who were like significantly spiritual in terms of like their mediums, they were claiming to be psychics and all these things, and they're sort of returning to Christianity. Let me know if you've been noticing that. I want to speak about that a little bit because it's connected. Have you seen this going on? Yeah, it's happening. Why is this happening? Well, I'll talk about that in a minute. First thing is, 2 days ago, I saw somebody who's a medium who I've known for like almost 10 years now. And she goes, I'm getting ready. I'm returning to my walk with Christ, my path with following Jesus. And in my clairvoyancy, I see these golden scrolls. And I go, what are these golden scrolls? And Jesus and Mary Magdalene come in and they go, they're really the lost teachings of Jesus and Mary Magdalene that were actually burned. So when people say, I'm following Christ, or like in a Christian way, right? What exactly are you following? Because the Bible or any other scripture or text, there are literally no original teachings of Jesus that exist from his mouth, from his pen, from his word, right? They're all stories that other people told years and years and years after. Now, there are certain channelers who are going to begin channeling and bringing forth the original golden scrolls. The one you need to know about right now is Elliot Eli Jackson, and you should purchase every single one of his books. Every single one of his books. Okay. But when people say, I'm following Jesus. Totally okay if you say, this is a being that I recognize ascended into a certain level of consciousness. And I'm using that as a model, but please understand, no one is here to save you. Okay. So going into the Mary Magdalene cave, seeing her levitating with beings in council to continue the ministry because the church wanted to kill her and the kids, by the way. Channeling from source the proper protocol and various protection to move forward. Like many of the clients that come into my practice are reincarnations of Knights Templars, people who protected Magdalene and the Holy Grail and these different things. This is coming up right now, and with this Uranus in retrograde, I promise you, the Christ within, when you really take a look at all these themes and stories, it should only lead back to the Christ within, which is the self, the eternal self that remembers one as source embodied in a temporary individualization, an individuation of consciousness. Okay, I feel Mary Magdalene right here for my clairvoyant folks. Maybe you see her. And she's talking about, why did the church mystify Jesus? She kept talking about this when I was in France, this mystification of Jesus, this mystification of lots of people, not just Jesus, any saint, right? Any idol, any prophet. What is the mystification? Because when you mystify them, you say they have access to that which I don't. And once we mystify them and we pedestal them and we say, oh, they're enlightened, and not that they were not enlightened, but that they have obtained something or attained something that nobody else can. It puts humanity in a hamster wheel of seeking saviorship. And the folks who run this matrix, what energy do you think they harness when you think you need a savior? That is the frequency that they like to harness. Lower vibrational spirits. They don't want you to think that you're equally as powerful as Jesus. The same way they didn't want you to think that Mary Magdalene was equally as powerful as Jesus. He was the original channel, but he taught her everything. And then she opened her own channel and channeled source directly like he was doing, which is what was revealed to me in the Magdalene cave in the south of France. Claim the Christ within. Claim the Buddha within. Claim it. Know it. That everything that you are experiencing or desire to experience is simply a holographic extension of your own consciousness. That's it. So, you get someone like Jesus who millions and millions of people claim that this is their savior, and yet we get no original teachings that we can reference yet. Isn't that crazy? Like, really think about that. And the church knew exactly what they were doing because they wanted to mystify his story, even though they killed him, right? Jesus did not die for anybody. Source did not sacrifice Jesus for you. He was killed because he was a channeler. And he was the only one on the planet at the time who had a direct source channel. Like fully, totally trans channel. All that is coming through. and we have none of the original transmissions. Why do you think that is? Because I can guarantee you, and for my folks who are in that timeline, and you also remember, this was not a guy walking around and saying, I have access to something that you don't have. It was quite the opposite. It was quite the opposite. So then sometimes we get and this is the thing with the Bible, right? We get sprinkles of things. We get sprinkles of truth that other people have properly translated. Ye are all gods. Okay? These types of things. So whenever you start feeling confused about what's going on in this dimensional sphere of reality, why was Jesus crucified? Not sacrificed to save me, but killed and crucified. Oh, because he was going around telling everybody that they were God. And why was Mary Magdalene removed from the story completely? Because now we put a wife and children into the picture. We demystify someone that we said was superhuman, that could do things that other people couldn't do. You see, it starts dismantling the delusion. You see how we wove that Pisces theme in? We start dismantling the distortion of what's going on. And for years, I really strayed away from the religious talk because I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, and all paths lead home. I mean, I think it's great. The soul even chooses what type of religion, culture and religion it's going to be born into because it wants to have that experience. I don't have a problem with religion. However, we are reaching this precipice of collective timeline ascension where some truths just have to be acknowledged and told. Okay? Eternal truths are being revealed. I want to ask you something. What side of history do you want to be on? What side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to continue entertaining delusions and distortions? Or do you want the truth within yourself first to be set free so you can be a pure example of source embodiment and alignment? By the way, that is the highest form of manifestation. Is when you decide which side you're on, when you decide who you serve. Unconditionally, permanently, you devote yourself to a calling. You devote yourself to source. So many people are asking for more money as opposed to asking, source, what can I give? Understanding that money will just be a byproduct of something that I give. Some of you are afraid to move forward in your calling. Okay, I need you to understand every time you do that, you contribute energy to the false matrix, the false light stories that keep people disempowered. Okay. That is what you're doing with your time and your energy. I need everybody right now to get crystal clear on an intention for your life. What is your intention? What are you doing with your time? All right, this is a part of that Pisces delusion that we're pulling some people out of. Pisces can go so deep, so esoteric, so ethereal that we lose touch. Pisces can lose touch with reality. So we're bringing it back to a crystallized intention. What is your time here really about? Napoleon Hill talked about probably one of his most powerful concepts within his manifestation framework. You must have a chief aim and you must have a definite purpose. Because with those two things, when you wake up every single day, laser sharp, focus, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly who I serve. I know exactly why I'm here. You're living in so much clarity. Your vibration is so clear that everything you need just starts rushing towards you because you're clear. Some of you are not clear. September, ask for clarity. Ask for clarity. How should I use my time? What should I devote myself to? And this looks vastly different for each and every one of us. Okay, so Magdalene's here again. She's talking about this is your ministry. What is a ministry? In the timeline with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, about 300 plus of us would move around from city to city sharing the gospel. That was our ministry. Waking up every day with crisp, crystalline clarity. I know exactly why I'm here. I know exactly what I'm doing. So then you become the vessel, the clear vessel to receive the actions and the steps necessary to manifest every single thing you need. The highest form of ascension, you know what it is? It's when you no longer even have to try to manifest anything. You are so harmonized with the rhythm, with the heartbeat, with the pulse of creation that every step you take, the universe is just saying resources, information. You need this connection. You need this contact. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need that. What is your ministry? Activate your ministry. We're activating your ministry right now. Niatur kumparkishi, niata sakar korkatai shiki miata, niaturu kumparkiti shakatria na ikitro kurku, rumpa takai shikiti surumpa paishiki, niatara satra satria surumpari akiatria su shuku sara tataraka tarakiatria si. Clearing your field of the chaos and the confusion and the lack of clarity and direction that does not allow you to move in the harmony that brings everything you need to support your ministry. I don't have to wake up and worry about my needs being met. Why? I work with God source full time. Everything I need is delivered on a platter because I'm clear, and I want you to be clear. I want you to be as clear as you possibly can. Living from the Christ within, being the Christ, being the Buddha, living in the realm of the Holy Trinity. So another thing that the Magdalene cave showed me was the real Holy Trinity, or this Holy Grail, which is, what is it supposed to be, some cup, or I don't know. It's DNA. It's really the vibration of your DNA. Okay. So what does Christianity say? You get the Father, the Son, and you get the Holy Spirit, right? Just completely move the feminine out of that, huh? No, really, you get the mother, the father, and you get a child. The child representing the 0 point blood, the 0 point DNA that is created when two spirits merge of a masculine and feminine come together. The Holy Trinity is the mother, the father, and the child. So as the feminine is coming back into the picture, what do you think happens to your DNA? You activate the Holy Trinity Fibonacci sequence of your DNA. It's the 369, the Tesla code. It's built into your DNA. It's the spiral built into creation itself. That is the true Holy Grail that these people have been wanting to hide from you, is that the power is in your DNA. And a part of your DNA fully coming online is you getting in touch with the cosmic mother. We just transmitted a lot of code. Okay? This is about activating your Fibonacci sequence that connects you to all of life. Yes, someone says Sophia. So many names for the feminine. So, after France, or while I was in France, all these timelines were collapsing, and I was supposed to go home. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to go home. I've got to stay in France. Okay, I've got to stay in France. So, ended up going deeper south. So the Mary Magdalene cave it's like in Provence-ish area, if anybody's familiar with that. It's like wine country. And so, okay, now we got to go to the coast. So I went from the countryside to the coast. The coast was beautiful. Nice, Monaco. It was great going to Monaco, soaking up some billionaire codes. And SC Village, which was absolutely stunning. I'm going to be posting more pictures. It's just when I get home, I'm so like recalibrating. Anyways, all these timelines are collapsing. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Went to the coast, but I feel like there's more. So I'm looking to get our flights back home, and I see a layover in Morocco. And I go, and just, I don't even know if I have time with all the synchronicities with Morocco. Okay, I do have time. So this is what happened. One of our friends that we met in France is from Casablanca, Morocco. Didn't know that. I just knew she was from North Africa. So as this whole go to Morocco thing starts coming in, I'm like, I don't know, maybe. And then so I'm at brunch the following morning after the Morocco thing comes in, and a guy stands up, and on the back of his shirt it says Casablanca, which is the city in Morocco that I was kind of told to go, or shown that I should go. And I go, well, look at that. What are the odds? We're in France. He has on this shirt that literally says Casablanca. So then our friends come meet us at breakfast, brunch, whatever. And I go, oh, guess what? We're actually going to Morocco now. And she's like, oh, I'm actually from Casablanca. This is what happens when you're on the move and you're just collapsing so many timelines. Fast forward, I get to Morocco. As soon as I step foot in the airport, I'm like, I know exactly what this is about. The suppression of the feminine energy was in the air. And granted, Morocco is, I would say, more progressive than a lot of other Islamic countries. But, in the airport, there are people going different places, right? So there were just different people that I could tell that were like in that type of embodiment of Islam. Suppressed feminine vibes. So I'm like, all right, we're taking the Christ code, we're taking the Holy Trinity, and now we're bringing it to an Islamic country. And then there was some beautiful grid work, went to a mosque, and I channeled the Prophet Muhammad. All of this was just so profound because it was a direct mirror to like my own story. My mother, Christian Baptist, my father, Muslim. So I grew up with like both of these faiths at a very young age. So I could see the healing of the Christian template and the Islamic template. And the Islamic one is far denser. It's a newer grid that just dropped into field. Saying all of this to say, folks, we are in a completely new timeline of what's getting ready to happen over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Someone says, I come from an Islamic background. Something that the Prophet Muhammad showed me is many Persian women and women born in Islamic countries who are starseeds and light workers are getting ready to activate and awaken in droves. And even in this round of my priestess portal, I've got about 3 or 4 Persian women, I think, or Indian or Pakistani, and they're all dealing with kind of the same thing. Being brave enough to step into that frame to talk to their people. Let me know in the comments if that's you. All right. So it's all happening. Even this is going to be our final message. Even when life gets rough, and it will, challenging, know that every breath, every step is serving the higher purpose. We just need you to be consciously aware. This is source. We just need you to be consciously aware of it, not to drown in the illusion of your job and your money and your survival, but understanding that as you unlock your own consciousness, you help heal the planet. And so with this blood moon and the emergence of your emotional purging, honor your truth, honor your sacred truth, because it's all valid. It's all a part of this experience. It all means something. It all helps. It's all a part of a greater weaving, a greater tapestry. And when you know that, you stop feeling shame and judgment and isolation and fear. Okay? I promise I will be back soon. That was a lot. And actually, my friend from Morocco, Hamid, he just joined my Instagram live. If you ever want to go to Morocco, he goes, hi from Morocco. He was the best tour guide ever, ever, ever. Like really took me into some places, some real deal, authentic places that gave me the full feeling of what I was there doing. If you're curious about Morocco, please contact him. Very professional, safe, all of the things. Much love, guys. I will see you next time. Bye, Instagram.